That was 1991 Super Bowl. This performance here with Michael Jackson. The halftime performance with the legendary Michael Jackson is actually known as the greatest Super Bowl performance ever. And in 1991, between the Cowboys and the Bills in California, that icon Michael Jackson passed away suddenly on Thursday, shocking millions at the age of 50. Absolutely tragic. And here at WNJC, we'll be playing some of his greatest hits later on tonight. But for now, it is Sports Sunday. I'm Christina Maxwell. Thanks for tuning in. The phone lines are open. 856-227-1360, 856-227-1360. And we have a lot to get to today. The Phillies are wrapping up interleague play. And trust me, they must be so happy about that, considering the fact that they have not played well in interleague play this year. Wrapping up that series against the Blue Jays that come from behind to win today 5-4. Also the NBA draft. What happened? Any big surprises? Why did the Sixers take Jrue Holiday over Ty Lawson? Also in NHL, the Flyers made a move this weekend, acquiring one of the biggest names in the sports. But we definitely have to start off with the Phillies. And end up winning this game, taking 2 of 3 from the Toronto Blue Jays. They win today's game, have to come from behind to win. 5-4 victory for the Phillies. And coming into this game, the Phillies had lost 3 straight prior to Saturday's game. They lost 11 of 13 games. In the Tampa series, they lost 2 of 3 from there. They had to deal with some off-the-field issues in regards to J.C. Romero, some drama that happened with him we'll talk about later. And an interesting thing going into today's game is Jason Worth hit so well in Saturday's game, and they looked at the numbers against his old team, batting 333, 8 home runs, 17 RBIs. So you expected him to be in the lineup and do well. And the pitchers that the Phillies are facing, Brian Talent, he has given up no more than 1 run his last 3 starts. They noticed with him, he's throwing more change-ups to the left-handed hitters. The Phillies had Jamie Moyer on the mound today. He's 5-6 with a 5.93 ERA, breaking a tie with Bob Gibson for 43rd place all-time with a win today. Did he get that win? Well, yes, he did, actually. The Phillies ended up winning this game 5-4. But going into it, there was a lot of questions about today's game, especially with Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy Rollins was by manual was decided not to start today's game. He's 3 straight games without him playing. And he's batting .211 with 6 home runs, 27 RBIs, and he's having a very tough season. But he was able to have a day off. He'll come back Tuesday, play lead off against Atlanta. So for this win today, we'll go play by play and see exactly what happened. Top of the first inning, Jay Sutley doubled to right with runners on the second and third with 1 out. Pitcher Talent struck out Howard with 2 outs, and Mayberry was up with runners at the corner, and there was a long fly out, and unfortunately he was unable to get the run in. Bottom first, Aaron Hill with 1 out, a home run to left field off Jamie Moyer. Inside the foul ball, the second home run of the year off Moyer. The Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead, the 17th home run he's allowed this year. In the bottom of the second, a 2-out walk to Lyle Overbay, and a 2-run home run to Jose Bautista, the former Pirate. The Toronto Blue Jays lead 3-0 at this point. He gives up another double to Chavez. He's able to get out of this inning, but Jamie Moyer does not look effective at this point. Top third, Victorino gets a hit behind the shortstop. Jason Worth walks, 2 on, no outs, and Chase Utley at the bat, a strikeout pass ball, and first base was occupied, so Utley was out. You got runners on second and third with the 1 out, RBI ground out for Ryan Howard. The Phillies get on the board, and they get a 3. It's now the score is 3-1. John Mayberry Jr. strikes out again with runners on, and you think about Raul Ibanez being out, and Ryan Howard's hitting in front of him. If Raul Ibanez is at the plate instead of Mayberry, he's probably getting those runs in. So the fact that Mayberry left a lot of guys on isn't a very good thing. But again, without having Raul Ibanez, it's tough. Bottom third, first pitch solo shot to Aaron Hill, his 3rd home run off Moyer this year alone. Aaron Hill has 19 home runs. He's batting .309 for Toronto, and he's one of the most underrated players in the league. It was the second home run of the day. The Jays lead this game 4-1. And Scott Rowland doubles to center with 1 out. And this is the thing about Jamie Moyer you noticed today is that with the first home run he gave up, it was a breaking ball. Again, with the second one, it was away, back over the plate. And Jamie Moyer is just missing spots at this point. He's trying not to let this game get out of the way, but he just does not look comfortable. And they just wanted to keep him in there for as long as they could. The bullpen had the rest on Saturday when J.A. Happ had the complete game shutout. So they had some wiggle room. They could get a guy out there. Chan-Ho Park was pitching in the bullpen in the 3rd inning. But thankfully, Jamie Moyer got out of it, was able to get a few more innings. Top 4, a leadoff base hit for Pedro Feliz. Chris Coast walks. So again, this is the second time this has happened because you got 2 on with no outs. So you got to get runs here. Eric Bruntlett has a great bunt attempt. I guess he was bunting to get on instead of just bunting to move the runners. It was an infield single. The bases are loaded with no outs. And it was great for Eric Bruntlett to get this hit because he was 0 for 12 in the series. He's starting in place of Jimmy Rollins. So you definitely needed him to come up big. And he did in this spot. Bruntlett was forced out at second, so the Phillies ended up cutting their lead in half. It's now a 4-2 game. Victorino gets a sac fly with 1 pitch, and all of a sudden it's a 4-3 game. The Phillies ended up capitalizing on Brian Tallett's wildness. At this point, he has 4 walks. He gets 6 walks in the game. He just completely looked out. He was not pitching well at all, and I was very surprised that Cito Gaskin kept him in as long as he did. The Phillies were playing small ball here. They're getting the sac flies, the ground outs, just getting those runs in. They've been scoring a lot of runs. Yesterday scored 10. For them to come out here and score 5 runs, playing small ball, it shows how different their offense could be. One day they're hitting a monster home run like Jason Worth did on Saturday, and now they're just hitting a couple ground outs, sac flies, and whatnot. Jason Worth gets a base hit to continue this inning, and with 2 outs, Chase Utley gets a triple to the deepest part of Rogers Center to left center field. The Phillies end up taking this 5-4 lead. They do not score any more runs after this, so they take the lead and they don't come back. This is the first triple of the season for Chase Utley, first triple since September of 2008. It's a 4-1 4th inning, and what Jamie Moyer did after this inning in the bottom of the 4th is the shutdown inning, a 1-2-3 inning. Without having the Jays come back and tie this game at 5 apiece, he was able to shut them down. He was efficient, and he got out of this game. On the bottom 5 is making sure that Aaron Hill doesn't hit his 3rd home run off Moyer today. He had a 3-2 pitch to Hill. It was a huge pitch because you got him on the changeup. There was a lot of movement on it, and it was a great pitch without having him hurt him for a 3rd time today. He got settled down, 2 outs. He's out of the game by now. On the bottom 6, Chan-Ho Park, who ended up getting hurt on Friday night. It looked like he twisted his knee, and then there was reports that, the ball hit his knee. So we weren't really sure, but he was able to pitch today. 2 innings, 1-2-3 innings, bottom 6 and bottom 7th. Bottom 8, Ryan Matson comes into the spot where he is comfortable. The setup role. Bradledge is back. This is a chance for him to save the game, and Matson is back in the 8th inning. He gives up a 1-out single for Scott Rowland. Scott Rowland playing against his old team, and he is batting .429 against his old team. And if you see him at Citizens Bank Park, he usually gets a lot of boos. In Toronto, they're cheering for him and whatnot. So you got 1 out there, 1 out hit. A routine double play ball for Eric Bruntlett, and he ends up dropping the ball. This is an error on Bruntlett. And a lot of people were thinking, mostly the TV guys, saying, hey, why don't you bring in Jimmy Rollins for a defensive replacement? He did not do that. Bruntlett was playing well up into this part. He went to flip it to get to Utley. It never got out of his glove. So Rios advances the runners with 2 outs at this point. Manuel goes out to talk to Ryan Matson, and the thing is that the next batter, Lyle Overbay. Do you want Overbay to hurt you like he did in Philadelphia the other week? He decides to go for the intentional walk on Lyle Overbay. He brings up Russ Adams. Russ Adams is a guy that started at shortstop this year for the Blue Jays. He went down to the minor leagues, and he looked completely overmatched at this point. It was a great plan by Manuel to walk a guy like Overbay, to bring up a guy like Russ Adams, and Russ Adams ends up popping up. Felice makes a catch out of the inning. Top 9 base hit for Howard with no outs. And you think that this team definitely needs maybe an extra run, Don't give Bradledge exactly a 1 run. Give him like 3 runs so he'd come in and it would be a more comfortable inning. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get any runs in the top of the 9th inning. Howard made a really bad base running mistake. He got doubled up. So you go bottom 9. Leadoff bunt attempt for Chavez, and it was tough play because Chavez is a very slow runner, and Bradley just kind of threw it wide to first base, and Chavez ended up sliding. He was taken out for the pinch runner, McDonald. Marco Scuro ended up walking on a 3-2 count, but he was able to get a big out first for Aaron Hill, pop up near the right field line. The infield fly rule was in effect. Chase Utley gets it. It's 1 out.